The awkwardness of meeting your African parents' friends, the setup. The anticipation of meeting your parents' friends can evoke a whirlwind of emotions. Anticipation, anxiety, and a hint of dread. For children of African immigrants, these gatherings often symbolize more than just social events. They serve as cultural intersections where familial ties, community expectations, and personal identity converge. As you prepare for such an occasion, the familiar sounds of laughter, the tantalizing aromas of traditional dishes, and the vibrant decor create a comforting yet overwhelming backdrop. Yet beneath this lively atmosphere lies the pressure to navigate the intricate web of cultural expectations and social dynamics. Imagine stepping into a room filled with familiar yet foreign faces, where the air is thick with conversation in a mix of languages and dialects. The laughter, the clinking of glasses, and the rhythmic beat of music can be both inviting and intimidating. You may feel a sense of belonging, while simultaneously grappling with feelings of being an outsider, navigating the expectations and norms of your parents' world. 1. The expectations, a heavy burden. As the date of the gathering approaches, you may experience a rising tide of anxiety, marked by the weight of expectations from both your parents and their friends. Cultural presentation. In many African cultures, the significance of appearance is profound. Your attire becomes a reflection of not only your personal style, but also your family's values and traditions. The struggle to choose an outfit that honors your heritage while feeling comfortable can feel overwhelming. Should you opt for the elegant, hand-woven dress that your grandmother gifted you, or wear something more contemporary that aligns with your personal style? Gibson. Anecdote. I remember a particular gathering where my mother insisted I wear a vibrant traditional dress adorned with intricate beadwork. As I looked in the mirror, I felt a mix of pride and self-consciousness. I worried that my outfit might seem outdated or too formal for the casual setting. Yet when I entered the room, I was greeted with compliments, and I felt a wave of warmth wash over me. "You look like a true daughter of the motherland," an aunt exclaimed, and in that moment, I understood the power of representation. Academic achievements. The pressure to showcase your academic success adds another layer of complexity to these gatherings. Your parents often encourage you to share your accomplishments, but this can feel like a double-edged sword. While you may take pride in your achievements, the fear of falling short compared to your peers can loom large. The questions about your academic journey often feel like a spotlight, scrutinizing your choices and paths. Anecdote. During one gathering, I found myself seated next to a family friend whose daughter had just secured a prestigious scholarship. As the conversation shifted to my own studies, I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. I hesitated, knowing that my path, choosing to major in the arts rather than a practical field, would likely invite comparison. When asked about my plans, I stammered through a response, feeling like I was both defending my choices and trying to justify them all at once. 2. The gathering, a cultural melting pot. Stepping into the gathering is like entering a vibrant cultural melting pot, filled with shared histories, traditions, and lived experiences. Language barriers. Language serves as a crucial conduit for cultural connection, yet it can also create barriers that leave you feeling isolated. In rooms filled with fluent speakers, you may find yourself struggling to engage in the rapid-fire exchanges that characterize these gatherings. The sound of laughter and conversation in your native dialect can create a sense of exclusion, amplifying feelings of inadequacy. Anecdote. I recall a particularly vibrant gathering where my parents conversed effortlessly in our native dialect. Their laughter and animated exchanges filled the room, while I stood at the edge, nodding along, trying to catch snippets of conversation. When a cousin tried to include me, I attempted to respond in broken dialect, eliciting more laughter. I felt embarrassed, yet fascinated by the fluidity with which they connected. It was a reminder of the cultural richness I was a part of, but often struggled to navigate fully. Generational gap. The generational divide often becomes evident as stories unfold, revealing differences in experiences and values. The older generation shares tales filled with nostalgia, stories of resilience, struggles, and cultural traditions that shape their identities. For you, these narratives can feel distant, yet they hold invaluable lessons about heritage and belonging. Anecdote. One evening, an elder recounted tales of growing up in a rural village, describing how they walked miles to attend school and participated in traditional ceremonies. As I listened, I felt a sense of disconnect. My life, filled with modern conveniences and urban challenges, seemed trivial in comparison. Yet their stories held a magnetic pull, revealing the richness of their experiences and deepening my understanding of my cultural roots. In those moments, I realized that while my world was different, the values of hard work and community that were emphasized in their stories remained relevant. 3. The conversation, navigating awkward topics. As the evening unfolds, conversations can take unexpected turns, unveiling the complexities of cultural dynamics. Comparisons. The spectre of comparison looms large in these gatherings. Whether it's about academic achievements, career paths, or life choices, you may find yourself measuring up against the successes of your peers. Did you hear about how Chinedu just got into medical school? Becomes a familiar refrain that can leave you feeling inadequate. Anecdote. At one gathering, a family friend boasted about her daughter's acceptance into a renowned law program. The room erupted in applause and I felt my stomach drop. As the spotlight shifted to me, I found myself sharing a half-hearted update about my studies, knowing that my pursuits in the arts were often seen as less valid. The moment felt like a magnifying glass on my insecurities, making me question the worth of my own path. I realized then that while my journey was different, it was still mine to own. Cultural stereotypes. Conversations can also veer into uncomfortable territory when cultural stereotypes surface. Whether it's jokes about African cultures or misconceptions about life back home, navigating these moments can feel like walking a tightrope. You may find yourself in a position where you feel compelled to correct misunderstandings while also wanting to maintain the jovial atmosphere of the gathering. Anecdote. At one gathering, a friend of my parents joked about how Africans are always late. While laughter erupted, I felt a surge of frustration. I wanted to challenge this stereotype, to highlight the diversity and richness of our cultures. Yet, I hesitated, worried that pushing back might dampen the light-hearted mood. I forced a smile, grappling with the tension between wanting to represent my culture accurately and preserving the camaraderie of the evening. 4. The food. A culinary adventure or a minefield? The food, often the centerpiece of these gatherings, can be both comforting and daunting. Food preferences. Traditional dishes hold deep cultural significance, yet your personal preferences can complicate the experience. As you survey the spread of beautifully arranged dishes, jollof rice, egusi soup, suya, you might grapple with both excitement and anxiety. The pressure to try everything can lead to internal conflict, especially if the dishes you'd rather avoid. Anecdote. At a potluck-style gathering, my mother insisted I try her friend's famous jollof rice. As I took a spoonful, I hesitated, unsure if I would enjoy it. The flavor was overwhelming, and I struggled to mask my discomfort. "What do you think?" my mother asked, her eyes bright with anticipation. I forced a smile, replying, "It's very unique." I could sense the devil lingering in the air, a silent judgment about my inability to appreciate a beloved dish. In that moment, I realized that food served as a vessel for cultural connection, a way for my parents' friends to share their love and pride in their heritage. Health consciousness. On health and dietary preference adds another layer of complexity to the culinary experience. If you're trying to adhere to specific dietary choices, veganism, gluten-free, or simply making healthier choices, navigating the spread of traditional foods can feel like an exercise in diplomacy. Explaining your choices to well-meaning relatives can lead to confusion or even mild resistance. Anecdote. I remember attending a gathering where the discussion around food quickly turned to dietary preferences. And my commitment to a plant-based lifestyle, several relatives looked at me with disbelief. "But you need protein," they insisted, thrusting plates of meat toward me. I felt a mix of guilt and frustration, wanting to honor my choices, while also navigating the cultural importance of food in our gatherings. It was a delicate balance, one that required both assertiveness and sensitivity. 5. The aftermath. Reflecting on the experience. As the evening winds down, reflections on the gathering can be bittersweet, filled with moments of connection and discomfort. Bonding with parents. After navigating the challenges of the evening, you may find yourself feeling a renewed appreciation for your parents' journeys. Observing them interact with their friends offers a glimpse into their lives before you, unveiling layers of their identity that you may have previously overlooked. These gatherings serve as powerful reminders of the sacrifices they made for you to have a different life. Anecdote. Following one particularly illuminating gathering, I sat down with my parents, eager to unpack the evening. As we shared our thoughts, I learned about their own experiences navigating cultural differences when they first arrived in the country. Hearing their stories of uncertainty and resilience helped me understand the depth of their struggles and sacrifices. This exchange brought us closer, allowing me to see them not just as my parents, but as individuals with rich, complex histories. We ended the night by sharing a meal together, a small act that felt monumental in its significance. Cultural reconciliation. Over time, these gatherings may provide a platform for reconciling your cultural identity. Embracing the awkwardness can ultimately lead to personal growth, fostering a deeper connection to your heritage. Each experience becomes a stepping stone in your journey toward understanding and embracing the complexities of your identity. Anecdote. After attending numerous gatherings, I began to see them as opportunities for growth rather than sources of anxiety. I started to engage more actively, asking questions and sharing my experiences. One evening, I even took the initiative to lead a discussion about how cultural identities evolve in the diaspora. The room buzzed with laughter and storytelling, bridging gaps between generations and experiences. The connections forged that night felt transformative, creating a space where everyone could share their own narratives. 6. Bridging cultural gaps, finding common ground. One of the most enriching aspects of these gatherings is the opportunity to bridge cultural gaps. You may discover that despite the generational and cultural differences, there are shared experiences and values that connect everyone in the room. Finding common interests. As conversations flow, you may find unexpected common ground with your parents' friends. Shared interests, be it in music, fashion, or current events, can break down barriers, fostering a sense of camaraderie that transcends age and cultural differences. Anecdote. At a recent gathering, I struck up a conversation with one of my parents' friends about our mutual love for Afrobeat music. What began as a casual exchange turned into an animated discussion about our favorite artists and the evolution of the genre. Suddenly, I felt a sense of belonging. This shared passion became a bridge, allowing me to connect with someone who once seemed like a distant figure in my parents' world. We exchanged playlists, and in that moment, I felt the generational gap shrink, replaced by a shared enthusiasm. Lessons in resilience. The stories shared by the older generation often carry valuable lessons in resilience and adaptability. Listening to their experiences navigating challenges can provide insights into your own life, empowering you to face your struggles with newfound strength. Anecdote. During one gathering, an elder shared a story about the challenges they faced when migrating to a new country. Their tale of perseverance, of finding ways to thrive despite adversity, resonated with me deeply. As they spoke, I couldn't help but draw parallels to my own experiences of navigating cultural duality. It was a reminder that resilience is a shared trait, one that transcends generations and cultures. Later that evening, I found myself feeling inspired to tackle my own challenges with a renewed sense of purpose. 7. Embracing identity, a personal journey. Amidst the awkwardness and complexities, each gathering serves as an opportunity to embrace and explore your identity. The journey of understanding your heritage is both personal and communal, shaped by the experiences of those who came before you. Celebrating your heritage. Embracing your cultural identity doesn't mean abandoning your individuality. Instead, it's about celebrating the rich tapestry of influences that shape who you are. Finding ways to honor your heritage while remaining true to yourself is a powerful form of self-expression. Anecdote. As I grew more comfortable navigating these gatherings, I began incorporating elements of my own style into traditional attire. One evening, I decided to wear a modern twist on a traditional outfit, pairing a flowing kente cloth skirt with a contemporary crop top. When I arrived, the reactions were mixed, but overwhelmingly positive. "You're bringing our culture into the future," an aunt exclaimed. In that moment, I felt a surge of pride, knowing that I could honor my heritage while embracing my individuality. I left that evening feeling empowered, recognizing that I could carve out a space for myself within my cultural narrative. Creating new traditions. Over time, you may find that these gatherings inspire you to create new traditions that honor both your heritage and your contemporary experiences. By sharing your interests, stories, and innovations, you contribute to the ongoing evolution of your cultural narrative. Anecdote. After attending several gatherings, I proposed the idea of a cultural exchange night. where younger generations could share their interests, art and perspectives with the older generation. To my delight, my parents and their friends embraced the idea. We hosted our first event, featuring art displays, music performances, and discussions on cultural evolution. It was a resounding success, sparking laughter, joy, and a deeper understanding among generations. Watching my peers connect with my parents' friends felt like a beautiful merging of worlds, each enriching the other. 8. The impact of social media and technology. In our increasingly digital world, the role of social media and technology in cultural interactions cannot be overlooked. These platforms provide new avenues for connection and communication, impacting how cultural narratives are shared and understood. Showcasing achievements. Social media has become a powerful tool for showcasing achievements, allowing you to celebrate milestones in a way that resonates with both your peers and your parents' friends. Whether it's sharing an art piece, a graduation photo, or a new project, these platforms create a space for recognition and support. Anecdote. I vividly recall posting about a recent art exhibition I participated in. As I shared the photos, my parents' friends began to comment, expressing pride and encouragement. This is what our culture needs. More voices like yours, one wrote. In that moment, I felt a wave of validation. The digital landscape allowed me to bridge the gap between my world and theirs, showcasing how our cultural narratives could intersect in new and meaningful ways. Online communities. Beyond individual achievements, social media also fosters online communities where cultural conversations thrive. Engaging in these spaces can provide a sense of belonging, especially when physical gatherings may feel daunting. Anecdote. Joining an online group dedicated to African diaspora art allowed me to connect with individuals from various backgrounds. We shared stories, resources, and artwork, creating a supportive environment. During one live discussion, I shared my experiences attending gatherings with my parents' friends. The responses were overwhelming, with many resonating with the awkwardness and complexities I faced. It was a reminder that despite geographical distances, our shared cultural narratives connected us deeply. 9. Future generations, passing the torch. As you navigate the complexities of these gatherings, you may also find yourself reflecting on the legacy you want to leave for future generations. The experiences you have can shape how your own children will interact with their heritage. Teaching cultural values. Engaging with your parents' friends provides a unique perspective on the values and traditions you may wish to instill in future generations. Recognizing the importance of cultural continuity can motivate you to share these lessons with the younger ones in your family. Anecdote. During one gathering, I noticed a group of younger children huddled together, animatedly discussing their favorite shows. It struck me how disconnected they seemed from the rich cultural heritage around them. I decided to take the initiative, organizing a storytelling session where I shared tales of our ancestors' resilience. Their eyes lit up with curiosity, and I could see a spark of interest forming. It was a small but meaningful way to pass on our cultural narratives, creating a bridge to their roots. Innovating traditions. Future generations will undoubtedly encounter their own set of cultural challenges. By embracing innovation and adapting traditions to fit contemporary contexts, you can help ensure that cultural practices remain relevant and engaging. Anecdote. Inspired by the storytelling session, I began collaborating with a few of my peers to create a digital storytelling project. We collected stories from our families, turning them into animated shorts that highlighted our cultural heritage. When we presented it to our parents, the joy and pride on their faces were priceless. In that moment, I realized that we could honor our past while paving the way for a future where cultural narratives are continuously evolving. Embracing the awkwardness. Ultimately, the experience of meeting your African parents' friends is a rich tapestry of emotions, challenges, and opportunities for growth. Each gathering serves as a reminder that while the path may be filled with moments of discomfort, it also paves the way for deeper connections and a more nuanced understanding of your cultural roots. Embracing the awkwardness, personal development, allowing you to honor your heritage while carving out your unique identity. These gatherings become an intricate dance, an opportunity to celebrate the past while looking boldly toward the future, weaving together the threads of your diverse experiences into a vibrant narrative of who you are. With each encounter, you find strength in your roots and resilience in your journey, ultimately embracing the beautiful complexity of your identity as a bridge between worlds. In conclusion, while the awkwardness of meeting your African parents' friends may initially seem daunting, it is in these very moments that growth occurs. Each interaction, whether filled with laughter or discomfort, contributes to a larger narrative of cultural continuity and personal identity. By embracing these gatherings, you not only honor your heritage, but also carve out a unique space for yourself in a world that often feels divided. It's a journey of connection, understanding, and ultimately celebration of the beautiful tapestry that is your life. A tapestry woven with the threads of many generations.